He's an upcoming leader in the conservative movement. Following the attacks of 9/11 15 years ago, he left his successful law career to serve nearly 5 years on active duty in the United States Army as an infantry officer, serving with tours in both Iraq and Afghanistan. Since then, he has served in the United States House of Representatives and then was elected to the United States Senate, where he is serving as the youngest member of the United States Senate at the age of 39. He takes his role as a public servant very seriously, calling out the Obama administration on everything from health care to foreign policy. He is a frequent guest, Bill, on my radio program, and he may one day just take over because he has a great voice, he has a great intellect, and we're privileged to have him here tonight to honor Dr. Bill Bennett. Please welcome from the state of Arkansas, Senator Tom Cotton.
Thank you all very much, Tony. Thank you very much for the kind introduction, and thank you all for the warm welcome. It's an honor to be here with you tonight. It's an especial honor to be here to honor a great American, Dr. Bill Bennett. Bill's a special man. Not many men can quote the Federalist in one breath and then break down the college football top 25 in the next breath. Speaking of that, too many college athletes today don't get their degree when their playing days are over. But not Bill. Bill was a lineman at Williams College, and he has more degrees than a thermometer. Seriously. He doesn't just have his bachelor's, a PhD, a law degree. Bill has more than 30 honorary degrees. If that guy was a European, he really would have more degrees than their thermometers. But Bill's not a European, thank goodness. Bill is all-American. He's been defending our constitutional order for the better part of 5 decades. As a teacher, a cabinet official, a writer, a commentator, Bill has spoken out tirelessly and courageously, not just for our system of government, but for our culture, our character, our children, our way of life. If there's a single insight that might sum up Bill's career, it's that self-government presupposes and requires self-government. If a people as individuals can't govern their passions and their impulses, destructive tendencies and bad habits, old prejudices and animosities, how can that people expect to govern itself as a people? James Madison described this connection between the character of our people and our system of government in the Federalist. He said, as there is a degree of depravity in mankind which requires a certain degree of circumspection and distrust, so there are other qualities in human nature which justify a certain portion of esteem and confidence. Republican government presupposes the existence of these qualities in a higher degree than any other form. This truth may be controversial, but it's no less true for the controversy. And Bill has never been one to shy from controversy. When he was relatively new as Secretary of Education, he attended a cabinet meeting. Sitting next to President Reagan, he saw a folder of newspaper clippings in front of the president, labeled, somewhat ominously, Bennett. After the meeting started, President Reagan went through the negative headlines and then asked the rest of the cabinet, this is what Bennett's been up to. What have the rest of you been doing? Now, you might ask, where did Bill learn these things? Because it wasn't at Harvard, believe me. That's one thing Bill and I have in common. We got out of Harvard as conservatives. That's no easy task. In fact, the only way you may be able to get out of Harvard as a conservative is to go into it as a conservative. Actually, Bill and I share more than just an alma mater there. During law school, we were both resident advisors to Harvard freshmen in the same dorm. Now, not at the same time. Bill was there many years before I was. But I suppose in my own time I might have been somewhat famous or infamous because of my conservative politics and my old-fashioned belief in a great books education. After I'd give advice to students, I suspect you might have heard some grumbling, but maybe a little bit after that, you heard them say, "Yeah, but that guy Bennett used to be way worse when he was here." Now, to be fair to Harvard, you actually could learn these things there if you had the right professors and the right classes. And if you did, you probably had an advisor like Bill. I was fortunate in that regard. And I found the right teachers there to build upon the moral and the religious foundation that my parents and my pastors, my teachers, my coaches had laid for me. I'm sure Bill had that same foundation, and he was fortunate to find those same kinds of teachers. But I had it easier than Bill. Most people about my age did. We had the same canon as he did: the Bible and Plato, Aristotle and Aquinas, Locke and Smith, the Federalist and Tocqueville. But we also had a few books that Bill never had: the Book of Virtues, the Moral Compass, Our Sacred Honor, and a few other titles by one William J. Bennett. I can still remember the first summer that I came upon the Book of Virtues. It didn't take long to realize that Bill was writing about the very same fundamental things I'd read in those old books. Or to realize that those fundamental things, faith, character, justice, nobility, beauty, were as eternal as those old books told me they were, and that they were as necessary and true today in Bill Bennett's voice as they were in those older books. And that's how I knew Bill for the longest time, the way most Americans know him, as an author. I only met Bill recently, once I got into politics. It may not surprise some of you to know that public figures don't always live up to their reputations in private. Now that I've gotten to know Bill, I can tell you that he doesn't live up to his image in private. He far exceeds it. Bill's often written about the need for heroes, especially for kids. In the last year of his radio show, happened to be the first year of my time in the Senate, I would occasionally appear on his show. My son, in that period, grew from a newborn to a toddler, and he would sometimes make unscheduled guest appearances on the show in the background. Bill would always helpfully point those out on the air. Bill sent to me to give to Gabriel his book, the Children's Book of Heroes, and he inscribed in it, "Gabriel, you are much blessed, born in the greatest country in the world to wonderful parents, fine, great heroes." Well, Gabriel's mom is no doubt very wonderful. His dad still has a lot of work to do, but he's trying. But one thing that I will try to do is to make sure that he finds the right heroes. And he could certainly do a lot worse than Bill Bennett. Thank you, Bill, thank you, and God bless you all.